Yeah.
And in every transaction that we talk about, every sale, there's a lot of emotions from the seller, from the buyer, and we help every seller or buyer navigate through those. And like we always say, going on a sale, it's like riding an airplane. We hit bumps, but we've rode and we led so many of these that we're able to handle the bumps and land you safely. Welcome to the Cornerstone Realtor Team Podcast. Today we have a special podcast for you. We're going to talk about our favorite stories with clients. Now, one of the things you have to understand that every house has a story, and sometimes the stories are up and down during the transaction, but there's a couple stories today that we want to share that I think you would enjoy and have fun and maybe glean some understanding on the process. So first, I'm going to shoot it over to Jamil, and he's going to talk about his favorite story. Then I'm going to come back and talk about mine. Jamil?
My favorite story is when I got a call from a past client that has a friend that tried to list their home with another agent. And so he called me in a panic saying, hey, do you have time? Do you have time to talk to my friend that wants to sell his house, signed a contract with an agent to list their home, and what happened is the agent just flopped from the beginning. After the contract was signed, the agent didn't do anything. They didn't put up a sign, they didn't agree to do open houses, they didn't do photos, they didn't do what agents are supposed to do. So we got in touch with the seller called us. We got in touch with them, immediately checked out everything, and what happened is they canceled the contract with the other agent immediately, and they saw the value that we brought, and we listed the house and sold the house. And that client has been forever grateful to us, for that, and they put a nice review for us, and what a great story. I mean, the house was beautiful, and we really took care of her.
How about the preparation that this agent skipped on the house? I remember when we went in there, the backyard looked terrible. It was not staged. Some of the furniture didn't fit. It took too much room. The fence looked horrible, which we had it painted, and just did some tweaking. And not only that the agent just put it on MLS. That's why we talk about always, it's not about just putting a sign and putting it on MLS. The digital marketing that we did brought a lot of people to look, which eventually got it sold. But preparation is really important. You can't just list a house and put it on MLS and hope for the best.
Yeah, that's not what we do. We recommend things to be done to the house. And it's from experience.
Yeah.
Been doing this for a long time. Myself since 2002, Ramon since 2005, and we have been through so much and sold so many houses. So from experience, we tell and we advise sellers what to do. Paint this wall, clean windows, different things that each house needs. And each house and each seller is a story. And so that was the story with that one. It was a successful sale. We sold the house, and the sellers were able to move.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I remember getting the front power washed, and the front door. The front door looked faded and horrible. See, when you come up to a house, curb appeal is very, very important. So you got to make sure as you're walking in, you're getting warm and fuzzy feelings, and you're feeling good. The front door looks sharply painted. The front's clean. The mulch looks great. Curb appeal is very important. So I love this story because we were able to come in when the seller almost lost hope. And remember, the seller had already put a down payment on a house in a different state, and they were on a timeline, and they were really emotional, upset. They had a young baby, and showings were tough for them. But we came in and we made it happen. And they're happy. Like Jamil said, the review the reviews that we have tell of each story and everything that we go through.
You know what? I want to thank all our clients that take the time to put reviews. It really tells their story with us, and we appreciate that. We appreciate the fact that they put their time into writing about us, because we do really care about each and every sale, each and every seller and buyer. And each one is a story, and we'll never forget those stories. You know, they're in our mind, imprinted, and it's a part of our lives. And most of our clients become our friends. They typically reach out for other resources as well. So if you become our client, you're going to become our friend.
That's right. I'm going to tell you about my favorite story. This is a story that's unlike any other, but what it causes us to do as realtors, really go over what comes with the house when it's sold. Now, we know anything that is mounted comes with the house. So let's say you have a favorite chandelier and you love that chandelier. Maybe it's been passed down through grandparents, and you're ready to sell the house. Well, we advise everyone, anything that is personal, that has value with memory, you need to take it off and replace it before we get photos done, before we put the house on the market. So in this story, we had sold a house for its gentleman, and he had his favorite stove that he had put in the house. So after the house closed, he dismantled the stove and was taking it out. And when we did the walkthrough, I called him up and I said, "Hey, where's the stove?" He's like, "Well, this is like my favorite stove. I spent this much money on it. I'm not going to give it to the buyers because it has sentimental value." And I told him, I said, "Listen, if the buyers come in and the stove is not there, you're going to get sued for trespassing, number one, because the house is not yours now, and stealing." So our advice always, and it was funny because he could not track mentally with me that the stove came with the house. He thought he can take whatever he wants once escrow's closed. But you gotta know what comes with the house, and whatever the people see in the house that's fixed, you have to make sure that it stays. And if you want it, it has sentimental value, you have to take it out before the sale and replace it. So that way it does not look empty or does not look right.
Well, that stove was built in. So that's a built-in stove, but typically It's on the contract what appliances will stay. And it was there, and we had gone over it with him. And so it's important to, before you start taking things out of your house, right before you move, to go over it with your agent one more time, because some things you can't undo, and you have to purchase a new one. Like if you dismantle your stove, it's a lot of work. So we had a new stove ordered and took care of it.
Yes, so anyway, we just wanted you to get a little insight on some of the things that happen behind the scenes. Yeah. And in every transaction that we talk about, every sale, there's a lot of emotions from the seller, from the buyer, and we help every seller or buyer navigate through those. And like we always say, going on a sale, it's like riding an airplane. We hit bumps, but we've rode and we led so many of these that we're able to handle the bumps and land you safely. So that's kind of the experience that we bring to the table, and we love helping people whether buy or sell. And if you want to look at our reviews, they're online on Google, on Yelp, on Zillow. We have amazing reviews, 5-star, and just read some of them. They're really heartwarming, and we're so grateful for our clients, like Jamil said, who took the time to write down their thoughts in their own words and say how their transaction, how their sale, how their purchase went, and what they felt. And so we bring that, all these years of experience to the table to help you navigate through life's changes, because it's very emotional.
Yep. You heard it. Check our reviews out, and then give us a call to sell your house or buy your house.
Thank you, and we'll see you at our next podcast.